Welcome into another edition of the Rundown, your home for local CSAA sports. Brandon Worth, Jack Heckman joining you here on a lovely Thursday. It is another edition. You can be sure to share this episode with all of your friends, especially your hoops friends out there. We're going to be talking about a little bit, just a snippet. Postseason is around the corner here. Upcoming, Jack, for our high school programs. Conference champions will be announced here very, very soon when it's all said and done. We're starting to talk about March. We'll go through the district brackets if the playoffs were to start today, as well as we'll talk about some games upcoming this Friday. And I mean, we got a county showcase this weekend. We got a lot of premier games with a lot of CSAA implications. And there's just a little small rivalry going to be happening between stations here on Friday as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting week and weekend. Can't wait to kick it off on Friday night.
Absolutely. Before we get into the scores to recap, big thanks goes out to Eagle Village. If you are looking for a job that impacts the lives of youth, eaglevillage.org, Eagle Village, where potential source. Also, big thanks goes out to Denny's Muffler and Brakes. If you need some auto repairs as well as work done on your mufflers and brakes, or even just a simple oil change or any general auto repair, you can give them a call, 796-6335 in Big Rapids. Denny's Muffler and Brake, a proud supporter of the Rundown. All right, let's go through some scores to recap here. From Monday, we'll start on the boys' side. There was only one game. It was a makeup game. Reed City wins 61-46 over White Cloud. Wasn't the best game overall in flow and execution for the Coyotes, but they get it done by 15. They led early in the first half and held it the rest of the way, so it was a good win for the Coyotes. It was 4 straight, but there's another to add to that, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. On the girls' side of hoops, Molly Stanwood knocks off Hart 68-51, a big win for them. Manistee knocks off the Coyotes of Reed City at home 62-57, what was a fabulous girls' basketball game. Those are the scores, as well as Chippewa Hills knocks off St. Louis by 3 at home. Big win for Coach Doerr's team. And looking at those Monday scores, Jack, especially, I mean, that's a big win for Molly Stanwood over a very, very good, a 7+ win Hart program, as well as for Reed City being competitive and scoring the basketball. That's what they've been missing this year. And Chippewa Hills ending that little skid they had there against St. Louis, and especially in a tight-knit game.
Yeah, most definitely. The Reed City game, this was great for Reed City to go out and score points. But White Cloud also, they put up 46. It looks a lot closer on the box score. But this is a big-time win for Reed City going forward, and you mentioned that winning streak.
Absolutely. And it turns out that this man named Brady Strait, he can hoop for only a sophomore. He had 32 in that game by himself for the Indians. But let's now flip over onto February 3rd slate. This would have been Tuesday's games. A lot more to recap, especially non-conference games. Montebello knocks off Central Montcalm by 10, 57-47. The final score reported there. So a big win there for the Mustangs. Lakeview against Grant. It's a winner for the Tigers, 77-42 at Lakeview there in Cook. Newaygo and Lowell battled there from Lowell, and it's the Red Arrows over the line, 77-56. Chippewa Hills took a trip to Midland to face off against the Chemics. They get a win, 64-43. Pine River knocks off the Mohawks of Molly Stanwood, 71-61 in their gym behind a big night from Eli Smith. And then Kent City knocks off Oak Ridge on the road. A dominant win for Coach Boyd's team, 66-37. Heard the 3 balls falling for the Eagles that night. Big Rapids falling to Whitehall on the road, 66-48. Reed City gets the upset of the night. They make it 5 straight with a 65-48 decision over a good Fremont squad. They're in boys hoops. Then we'll look at the 3 girls scores for you here. Grant wins over Lakeview 58-37. Tigers get another win on the season. Kent City knocks off Algoma Christian in a little inter-city rivalry, 62-20, a dominant win there for the Eagles. And Newaygo and Lowell battle to a 7-point decision where Lowell, as the visitors, gets the win over Coach Thompsoma and the Lions. Jack, overall analysis, especially starting with Big Rapids, tough sledding against Whitehall, and it just feels like some reason the Vikings have just had the number since we played football. It's just been their basketball success now. It's almost like the tides have turned.
Yeah, most definitely. But on the positive note, Trenton Mussel's having an incredible season. 24 points from him last night. The Cardinals just didn't have an answer down low for Corday Anderson. He had a great night all night against the Cardinal defense. And this was a game where the Cardinals just couldn't get many shots to fall.
Absolutely. And there's still going to be some opportunities for Big Rapids in the next couple games. Reed City was led by a big performance from Peyton Gogolowski, I believe 17 in the book. But Roan Johnston made almost history books. 20 rebounds that we had in this game. The big man was feeling it against Fremont for a big win for Coach Walsh's squad. Once 4-7, now 9-7 heading into the rivalry game. And also, I mean, look at Central Montcalm. They're going to be fired up for this Friday's game after the loss to Montebello. And Pine River, a team that's been a little slept on. Obviously, we cover the CSAA CSAA, but Pine River's been doing a really good job this year as well. And I think there's a lot to go around. And you look on the girls' side as well. It's good for Grant as well as Newaygo to play some tough competition. Grant gets the win. Newaygo, unfortunately, losing to a really good Lowell team, but they're going to have opportunities, and especially they're going to need to win some games. And we're going to be talking about the district standings later. It's getting even more tighter by the day.
Yeah, most definitely. This is getting to be a tight race inside many districts. You mentioned it. We're going to highlight it in a couple minutes. But this is also a tight race within some of these lower side conference teams. Maybe they're not going to finish first place, but these teams want to get to that higher ranking and maybe finish second and third and make a name for themselves heading into next season.
Absolutely. Let's take a look now at the CSAA standings. This is as of Wednesday, February 4th. So we know that there are 2 games tonight. And as we're recording this, and there are also some games on Thursdays. We'll highlight that at the end of the episode for our previews. But looking at the standings as of far, we'll start at the CSAA Red with boys. Grant right now leads 6-0 in conference play, 15-0 overall. Chippewa Hills and Reed City tied at 4-2 in conference play apiece. Chippewa Hills has the overall advantage by win percentage 9-6, Reed City 9-7. Big Rapids right there in 4-3-3 in conference play, 6-9 overall in their tough schedule. Tri-County 1-5, 4-9 overall, and Newaygo 0-6, 2-13 on the season so far. And I guess it's really, Jack, we talked about it at the beginning of the year, and we're still talking about it. Chippewa Hills most improved ball club. They're balling this year.
Yeah, most definitely. Coach Darnell went out, scheduled some tougher out-of-conference opponents, and Midland Chemics doesn't have that record, but that's also a Division I group over there in Midland. Coach Darnell has an amazing group. They play great defense all season long, and they have the length to size up with a lot of great teams this season.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at the CSAA Red girls standings. It goes as follows. Big Rapids undefeated, 6-0, 9-3 on the season. Newaygo, the next closest team at 4-1, 7-5 overall for Coach Dorr. Reed City under Coach Koopman, 3-2 in conference play, 6-6 overall. Chippewa Hills 2-3, 5-6 now on the season with a big win last night. Tri-County 1-4, but 7-7 overall on the season. And Grant 0-5 in conference play, but have 5 non-conference wins with 9 total losses. And we look at this, Big Rapids obviously on top. Newaygo is getting back to their winning ways. And Tri-County, this is a team that is beating some teams. However, it's just not been the conference teams this year for them.
Yeah, it's been a rough season for them inside the conference. 1-4. You mentioned them, though. They're 7-7 as a record overall, so they're winning games outside of the conference. They just got to find the ability to win games inside the conference, and they got some games coming up that they can win. Absolutely.
Let's take a look now. We'll flip to the white division for the boys in CSAA play. Central Malcolm is 5-0, 13-2 overall. Moly Stanwood is the prime team to stop them, 4-1 right behind, 10-6 overall. Kent City in third at 2-2, 8-7 in overall play this year. Lakeview 1-4, 4-11 overall in the season. Then White Cloud still 0-5 in conference play, 2-13 on the year for Coach Jones. But I think right now, Central Malcolm, we know has been the team. A little bit slipped up there in that Montebello game. They're going to be hungry to bounce back. Moly Stanwood off that loss to Pine River. For Moly Stanwood in conference terms, you got a game coming up on February 16th. You got to be balling that night if you want any chance to get a share.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be a night you're going to circle it for the next 2 weeks. You're going to get ready. You're practicing for that game, but you also got to win some games. Come out. So does Central Montcalm, though. They don't have a cakewalk coming in this game. They're going to have Kent City, Reed City, then Midland Calvary Baptist coming in that Morley Stanwood game. These two teams are going to be ready. It's going to be an exciting night, and it's only a couple, 10 days away.
It really is. It's going to be here before you know it. Looking at the CSA White for girls, Morley Stanwood still unblemished, 4-0, 11-2. Kent City right behind, 2-1, still with another conference game to make up from a snow day, 10-3 overall. Central Malcolm 2-2, 6-6 overall. White Cloud 1-3, 3-6 overall, still trying to get some games in are the Indians. And then Lakeview 0-4, 1-12 overall. Kent City, Morley Stanwood, we're going to see it a second time, and the first one was just as good. If any part of that second game is as good as the first, we're going to be in for something they're going to make a movie about later.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a three-headed race at the top of that conference. It has been exciting to watch all season long, and Morley Stanwood being 4-0 right now, they're setting themselves up for a great finish of this conference.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the CSAA standings. Now let's take a look. For the first time, we are going to look at the district brackets, and I say brackets as we're going to give you the lead of the 5 standings. We'll kind of identify where these teams would be playing if the playoffs were to start today. However, the boys still have the rest of this week as well as next week to fill out NPR. The last regular season week does not count towards NPR because they have to have those matchups set in stone, and the girls will obviously be the week after in turns and sequence. But let's take a look at the boys first in District 35. This is always a gauntlet. Ludington Hart at the top right now. Reed City with a massive win over Fremont has now flipped into the last position of a bye at the 3 3 seed. That would mean Manistee and Big Rapids, Jack, are going to be potentially duking out on a Monday night, and that game was great in Manistee the first time around.
Yeah, it most definitely was. It was a 7-point victory for the Cardinals, but now you beat them the first time, but in that second half, Cole Heist only had 5 points. All of them came off free throws. Manistee basically tried to take him out of the game. That's going to be something to monitor in that first half. How can the Cardinals score outside of Cole Heist if that matchup were to happen?
Absolutely. That's going to be a doozy of a matchup. And last time Big Rapids played Manistee in the playoffs, it didn't go well for the Cardinals. So you know they are looking for revenge, especially against that Manistee squad. That will be our district in Ludington coming up here later on in a few weeks. District 36, Gladwin and Shepherd right now, the bye teams at a 636 and 567 as we're recording this. Chip Hill's in the number 3 slot. They would be lined up against Clare, who right now is the last seed. The Pioneers at 485, Stannis Sterling and Bullock Creek in the middle of the sandwich there. But Chippewa Hills obviously played Shepherd early on this year, losing that game to Alma. That skid really put them behind the sticks. However, there's still time to make it up. Shepherd is still playing some of their tough conference schedule here later on this season. And so Chip Hills will have a couple opportunities, but man, they're going to have to make the most of every game possible the rest of the way.
Yeah, most definitely will. And I know Coach Darnell will be ready to go for every game coming up on this schedule. This is a team, and I got to give it to Coach Darnell. We mentioned it earlier, the turnaround he's had has been amazing. This might be a dangerous team come playoff time.
Absolutely, and they've played in a lot of tight-knit matchups overall this season. As you can see in the margin, one of the tightest teams in terms of points per game, offensively, defensively. Looking at District 40, Central Montcalm is the number 1 seed, but boy, not by much. Portland is right behind them, only 0.02 of a point behind. And there's Alma, the team we just talked about. I mean, look at this district right here. And St. John's is a team that can fill it, 59.8, the leader in the district in points per game. I mean, you're talking 4 teams above 10 wins. You got Belding and Ionia, who are both very scrappy teams. This is going to be a fun district to watch. I mean, you look how the seeding turns out. We could have 4 different combinations by the time they make the draw.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy to watch. And just looking at these points per game, none of these teams average more than 60 points. And a lot of these teams are able to hold their opponents under 50 points, which has been leading their beautiful success this season, where you have 4 teams with an MPR higher than 550, which is something you don't see a lot. It's going to be exciting to watch this district play out for the next 2 weeks.
Might be one of the best districts indeed. We'll look now at District 41. Grant, Fremont at the top of that one. Sparta right now holds that very precious 3 spot at 490. Then you have Tri-County and Newaygo potentially for the 3rd time around on Monday night. And that would be a really good matchup here. Especially you're looking at this being a neutral site game, I believe, for both of those teams, if I'm not mistaken. But you got Grant and you got Fremont, 2 teams at the top of the table, who, by the way, will be playing this weekend in the Newaygo County Showcase. So maybe, just maybe, this is a little bit of a precursor for what that championship Friday night would be. But however, who could spoil the party? You look already this year, it's the Spartans who beat Fremont earlier this year.
Yeah, Sparta's kind of a dangerous team sitting there at that 3 seed. But if you're Grant, you're 15-0 right now, a 580 MPR. This is your district to win. Last year didn't turn out well for them. They got to change the script, and they got to win it this year. This is almost a must-win district.
Absolutely. We know this team can fill it for 70, but the defensive side against those big teams will be the question mark. Lastly, for the boys, District 74, Montebello and a 5.76, the leader right now, and especially off of a big win against Central Montcalm. Kent City holds on to that number 2 spot. Then you got Ravenna, who beat Montebello earlier on in the year, as well as Molly Stanwood right there in 3rd and 4th, tussling there. Then you have Lakeview and White Cloud bringing it up the rear. So both of those teams in Ravenna and Molly Stanwood right now, in terms of on paper, and of course we know paper means nothing when we get to the playoffs, would have theoretically statistical favorable matchups to square off against Kent City and Montebello in the next round. But I think it's going to be a big one of who can score the offense. All these teams scored over 50 sacks a game this year, and defensively have been just as good.
Yeah, most definitely, especially a team like Ravenna holding their opponents to under 46 points a game. But Kent City, Ravenna, Morley Stanwood, Montebello, all those teams, MPRs plus 500. Again, something you don't see very often. This is another dangerous district inside Division 3. Kent City's got a very great MPR for being an 8-7 team. It goes to show that sort of out-of-conference schedule they play is definitely tough.
It is definitely tough. Now we will flip on over into the girls' district alignments, and this is as if the playoffs were to start today on Thursday, February 5th. Now, there's obviously a lot of time to sort this out. District 35 is an absolute doozy, folks, and you'll see now why I say that. Big Rapids at the top, then there's Fremont, and then there's a whole slew of chaos. Cadillac's in there, Ludington's in there, Newaygo and Reed City, all within only a game or two of each other with a lot of games to go. And those that have followed this district for years know that this is one of the most toughest in Division II, and for right reason, because these teams are going to be duking it out, and some of these teams will play each other again here later on this year before we get to playoff basketball.
Yeah, this is a gauntlet. That's one way to describe this district, is a complete gauntlet. All these teams have capabilities to win a district, but they're all in the same district. Only one team can win. This is going to be one of the most exciting districts potentially in the entire state to watch all season.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at District 36 right now. Standish, Sterling, and Clare and Chippewa Hills right now in the bye slots. Ogama and Gladwin right behind. But the big notable thing about this district, defense wins championships in this district right now. A lot of good defensive teams, especially the Pioneers and the Panthers. They're holding under 35 a game for those teams, as well as teams that win on the road. Chippewa Hills will have an opportunity, especially having that Wednesday bye could be crucial, but they got to take care of the regular season, and they're going to have a tough conference slate coming up here later on over the next couple weeks for them, and especially with some of those games being at home against Moly Stanwood, at Breckenridge, and as well, you got to play Newaygo twice and Big Rapids again in the regular season.
Those are all huge NPR boosters too, whether you win or lose, especially a team like Newaygo can, keep your NPR or give you a couple slots. In a Morley Stanwood, that's a team with a 635 NPR. They can really, really boost your NPR with a win or a loss. I mean, imagine a win. This team could be sitting at a 500 NPR going to the playoffs. Granted, you're not going to catch DeClaire, but you're also in a comfortable spot ahead of Ogama Heights, where you sit comfortably in the 3 seed, knowing that going into the playoffs, you can now really work on things, get going ahead into the playoffs. This could be another dangerous team. The boys and the girls of the Warriors, those are both dangerous playoff teams.
And nothing is more motivating than when both teams are playing well going into the postseason. Let's take a look at District 40 now. This is Central Montcalm's district. Portland and Ionia right now hold the 1 and 2 spots. Central Montcalm holds that 3 slot right now despite a 500 record. Then you have St. John's and Belding, who would be squaring off in the Monday square down. But this will be a very interesting one. Ionia's a very scrappy team. Portland looks like one of the best teams in West Michigan, especially defensively. So this will be a doozy. But the Hornets right now, they're going to have some opportunities here over the next couple weeks to get their schedule right. And as you mentioned, Jack, I mean, NPR boosters are certainly something that you watch. How about at Kent City? How about at Moly Stanwood, and especially going to be playing some key games here down the stretch as well with Pine River and Moly Stanwood.
Yeah, most definitely. Huge, big-time NPR boosters, especially that Moly Stanwood one like you talked about. You can get to that 2 seed. It's going to be very hard to stop or even catch this Portland team who's only allowing 31.8 points per game. That is impressive from them. But really, it doesn't change much if you get that 2 seed against Ionia. You're going to play them no matter what in that second round. But this is a Central Montcalm team that we've been monitoring all season. Another thing too, 6-6 overall record, but a 517 NPR. That's another thing. That's a tough out-of-conference schedule, but they've been able to handle it playing some close games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially how the guards play in this type of environment when they go into some of these places like Moly Stanwood would have to play on the road. Let's take a look at District 41, arguably one of the most intriguing districts because of the fact that there is only one team at 500 in this district, and that is Tri-County, who's at a 4-3-4. Sparta leads the way in terms of NPR despite being 4-10, and you look at Grants in there, you got Forest Hills Eastern, who doesn't have a conference, right? They played a lot of non-conference games to try to boost their NPR, and then you got Comstock Park, who's 2-12. Who's going to win this one? Who knows? It's going to be who plays probably the best brand of basketball and gets the most momentum over the last couple weeks, and generally, it doesn't even matter what the records say. It's who's playing the best at playoff time that decides it.
Yeah, most definitely. This is wide open. This is the most wide open district we've talked about so far. None of these teams have a positive point differential. That's the thing you also don't see very much. This is just a crazy year. In District 41 on the girls' side, this is wide open. Who knows going to win this one?
Flip a coin. At this point, we have no idea. Now we go from the most open district to arguably, some would say, the most shut district. This is District 72. There's Moly Stanwood, and there is everybody else. And no, these are not typos. You are looking at the next best team at 2-11 in Beale City, who has a gauntlet in the Highland Conference. That's how their NPR is so high. Then you got Montebello, Farwell, and Lakeview. For Coach Raven's squad, I don't know if you actually like this or if you actually more dislike it, the fact that you could potentially have 2 straight 30-win games, and you hoist a trophy going into the regional games. And I'm not saying this as disrespect to the other 4 teams. I hope they're hearing this and they get motivated as well. Maybe you can play that clip in your locker room no matter what it is. But Moly Stanwood, very, very favorable in this district right now. It would take a miracle for them to not be hoisting that trophy on Friday night.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, their MPR number 635 and the second highest in Beale City being 472. This is it. We talked about tightly knit districts. This is the complete opposite. Morley Sandwood, this is your district all season long. Go out there, finish it, and win this district.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at District 73 here before we get to the games to preview for this weekend. Shelby on top. Hart is right behind, and that's going to be a doozy. Shelby won the first time around as a 12-1 team. Then you have White Cloud holding on to that spot by a thread. Hesperia is behind them, but still by a lengthy distance. So right now, Hesperia and Holton would be battling Monday night for the right to play one of the best teams on the Lakeshore in the Shelby Tigers.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to take down this Tigers team. They've been impressive all season long, winning by an average margin of 20 points per game. But White Cloud this is still a very manageable district. Shelby isn't, world beaters, and neither is Hart. Those are both matchups where you can come out on top. And White Cloud, they're a 3-win team. They're 3-6, but they got some impressive losses. I mean, I'm not a big fan of saying impressive losses, but they truly do have some impressive losses this season.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the final district, and arguably some would say the best for last. District 74. Kent City's on the top. Ravenna is right behind, as well as Muskegon, North Michigan Christian, and North Muskegon. Now, you look at WMC. They beat Kent City not too long ago, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, and Ravenna beat Kent City. Might be another way around, but these district teams have beaten each other, and the lower seeds have beaten the bigger seeds. So the fact is, this one's going to be fun. Kent City is one of the best teams. They've established that over the last 3 years. WMC has a 5-7-6. They're great on the road this year. Ravenna is a team that has played so well in conference that has geared them up to being 12-win team so far. And those that know ball know that North Muskegon can hoop on either side. So this is going to be an electric district to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. The only district we've talked about who doesn't have Monday night games. Nobody has a bye. Everybody's playing on Wednesday night. This Kent City team, they have had playoff success over the last 10 years. That's going to be something to look at. The experience they have on that roster is impressive. Now you got to get through what is going to be a very tough district.
Absolutely. Before we take a look at the games to preview here in Hoops this Friday and as well this Saturday, big thanks goes to RivalsMI.com. You can go online, find local rivalry merch and local legends merch, RivalsMI.com. Free shipping over orders of $50. Big thanks also goes out to Dazos Digital. Target your target audience with the experts at DazosDigital.com. Help your business get through the trees with Dazos Digital and their business solutions. Let's take a look at some games that will be around the CSAA here. We'll go from Wednesday all the way through Saturday. So we'll be talking about games that might have already happened if you're tuning in on Thursday. Kent City as well as Central Montcalm will be squaring off tomorrow. Those games will be played on Thursday. The Wednesday games that I was referencing, White Cloud playing that really good Shelby team that we were just talking about. And Central Montcalm going to be playing North Point, 2 teams that are right around 500 on the season. And talking about Friday now, Grant hosting Chippewa Hills. You got Lakeview that is hosting White Cloud. Moly Stanwood hosting Midland Calvary Baptist. Newaygo hosting Tri-County. And Reed City hosting Big Rapids on the boys and girls sides. Girls at 5:30 as well as boys on Friday. You see right now the matchups and record comparisons on your screen. But Jack, this is the best slate Friday night of the year, right?
100%. 100%. It is the best slate on Friday night all year long.
This is literally, they got it right. Like, every team is at competitive level. Like, this is going to be a great Friday night of basketball. And oh, by the way, Newaygo County Showcase is going to be happening the very next day. You got Fremont and Grant squaring off. You got Newaygo against Kent City, White Cloud against Hesperia, all at White Cloud High School all day on Saturday for basketball. This is exactly what the people want. This is absolutely a beautiful slate. And oh, by the way, CSAA Wrestling, which we talked about last week on the episode, so you can find that episode, will be happening at Newaygo. Like, sports in the CSAA right now, not postseason, but as peak and as close to the climax as we could ask.
This is probably, in the history of the CSAA, the best winter weekend of the year, maybe of all time. This is, if you were to go out and pick each matchup, I think this is exactly what you got. You got Grant Chip Hills top of the table in the boys, and that's a great girls matchup too. And then you got Lakeview, White Cloud, two teams at the bottom of that CSAA White, both fighting. Both are, hungry teams trying to get some wins on the board. That's going to be a great matchup for both boys and girls. This is going to be a fun 3.5 hours of basketball on Friday night.
It certainly is. And the game of the week is certainly an unbiased bias selection for both of us. We're cutting this table in half and becoming rivals. No, I'm just kidding. Big Rapids against Reed City from the Den coming up on Friday. We'll have both of our coverages. If you're a Cardinal fan, hang out with Jack on 100.9. If you're a Kyle fan, hang out with me on 102.3 FM. And we can't wait to see you out in full force at the Den. Big Rapids will have a great crowd. Reed City is probably favorable in this one, but Big Rapids is had the historical sense in that building. I mean, we want both towns. Get out, support your teams. It's going to be a great Friday night in Reed City and all across the CSAA.
Yeah, 100%. If you got nothing to do on Friday night, you got something to do right now. It's be at Reed City. This is a team, Reed City, rattling off wins on that win streak. Big Rapids, they were winning 4 or 5 games going into last night. Unfortunately, took the loss to Whitehall, but this is still a team that's winning games, starting to find their footing. And they need you, Big Rapids fans out there Friday night. Go out and show your support.
Hey, Reed City fans, we need you too. No, it's going to be great. So you can follow along. You can listen to us in the stands. Take it online, wwbr.com for Big Rapids, and then wybr.com for Reed City. We can't wait to see you in the Den. Jack and myself will be there. We're going to cover all the action for if you can't make it, and it's going to be a great time for a rivalry. The Battle of 131, the Claw and Paw, the Northland Drive Battle, whatever you know it as, it is going down, and we can't wait to be there and see that with you guys as well. Big thanks goes out to all of our sponsors, as that will conclude our episode. Big thanks to Denny's Muffler and Brakes, as well as Eagle Village, RivalsMI.com, and Dazos Digital. Thank you very much for your support of the Rundown. We will have more episodes coming out next week. We'll be giving some things on some hoops, our last-minute predictions for the districts, as well as maybe we'll get into some bowling, as their season now has approached the end. A conference championship. Congratulations in boys bowling to Chippewa Hills for a big victory and a conference championship for them. And we'll talk a little bit more about them next week.
Yeah, this is going to be an amazing weekend. 4 words, let's have a weekend.
Let's have a weekend, and we hope you have a great weekend. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow. This has been The Rundown. We'll see you next week right here on WBRN.